This is true. This is actually one of the more honorable decisions Edward made as a vampire, so I'm not going to be roasting him until possibly the end. I might have to do it about something else. But basically, about 10 years after Edward was turned, he wanted to like rebel against Carlisle and go be a regular vampire. But what he would do, instead of just slurping up anybody, is use his mind reading to track down dangerous criminals, and he would eat them. And the first person that he went after on his unaliving spree was Esme's first husband, Charles Evanson, who was a really terrible man. So like the spark notes on Esme's backstory that she trauma dumped onto Bella at the baseball game before Carlisle, or actually not before Carlisle, because when Esme was 16, she broke her leg climbing a tree because, you know, she was an adventurous, spirited young girl, and Carlisle was her doctor, and she was like so madly in love with him after this one singular solitary interaction when she was a teenager that she never wanted to get married because no man could measure up to Carlisle. And then basically her parents were like, well, you're gonna marry this guy, and turns out he was very abusive physically and otherwise, and then the whole thing happened where she had the baby and then she jumped off the cliff. And Carlisle, who is always in the right place at the right time, baby, was like, not on my watch. So then we got Esme. So yeah, that's basically what Edward did during his rebellious era, but unfortunately I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the most significant part that we hear about these few years in Midnight Sun is this questionably long passage where he sympathizes with a PDF in great detail and draws parallels between this child and himself, literally talking about how this man is planning to climb into this little girl's window and is like sympathizing with his thoughts about how he's like fighting the monster inside him, which is literally again what he says about himself. And then when Edward goes to unalive him, he says that the feels relieved because he's not going to do this to the little girl. And no, I'm not kidding. You can read it for yourself. It is very weird. I am very surprised that made it past editing. This is exactly what I mean when I say that Stephanie had 15 years to make Edward better and she made him worse. Like, it is so weird. It's long and it's uncomfortable.